This is the Transformers Generations Legacy. A Hero is Born 2-pack featuring Orion Pax and Alpha Trion. Very, very cool looking set. I picked up this set from our Toys for about $85 US. And here are Alpha Trion and Orion Pax out of packaging. And boy, these figures look terrific. I'm actually very, very pleased to get my money's worth for these two figures because I honestly didn't think they were going to turn out well. I really thought they were just going to be very expensive redecos of the Scourge and Cup figures with the disco ball accessory, but they actually look pretty good. Now, in case you're wondering what the whole point of this set is, for those of you who didn't grow up in the 80s, Optimus Prime didn't start out as Optimus Prime. He was a lowly clerk on Cybertron. He used to be known as Orion Pax, and it was through Vector Sigma, with the aid of Alpha Trion, that Orion Pax became what we know to be Optimus Prime. Now, if you don't know what Vector Sigma is, Vector Sigma in the Cybertronian mythology is really like a supercomputer AI on Cybertron. It's like the core, the heart of Cybertron. It's responsible for producing Cybertronian life. And whoever wields the key to Vector Sigma can actually control Vector Sigma. Now, it's just a plain faceted sphere. You put the key in right like that. Doesn't do anything. I wish they had put LED lights on this thing so it would, you know, give us some gimmicks or something. Now think of Vector Sigma as like the Allspark. Now nowadays, the movieverse of Michael Bay, instead of using Vector Sigma, they're using the Allspark. But the big difference is Vector Sigma is on Cybertron and it's sort of like a sentient computer. I believe it has some form of consciousness or sentience that the Allspark doesn't, because the Allspark feels like it's a mystical tool like the Tesseract or like the Infinity Gauntlet or something like that. Now, the Custodian is Alpha Trion, and he used Vector Sigma to transform Orion Pax into Optimus Prime. And in fact, it was actually Vector Sigma, I believe, that chose Orion Pax to wield and to hold the matrix of leadership. If you didn't already know, Alpha Trion was based off of the Scourge, or what I have now is Sweep. The old Scourge or Sweep mold, whereas Orion Pax was based off of or taken from the Studio Series 86 Cup mold. They gave him the same gun. It's the same blaster rifle, which to be honest, I don't know why they retained this blaster. It had maybe a staff or a scepter or something like that. I wish they didn't have to redo this. You will immediately notice, obviously, the head sculpt is different. The wings have been changed. This sort of mimics his cape. The alt mode's nose cone is still the same. They did change this part right here, which is the rear part of that head when in alt mode. These bits are the same. You will notice that the chest has been heavily modified as well. You see this is sort of like a Dracula collar. Now this one is more of a full collar. So they changed that. They also changed the shoulders. Forearms are the same. They just used Sweep's right hand and Scourge's left hand. The waist piece is the same. Thigh pieces are different, leg pieces are the same, the feet are the same, and they did change the heel spur. And on to Orion Pax. He does still retain that. Yes, this is a quality issue. It just doesn't tab in the backpack, much like Cup. Cup actually does a better job of tabbing in, but on my copy of Orion Pax, it just doesn't want to stay on. So he still retains some of the flaws that the old Cup mold had. Head sculpt obviously is different. The torso is different. The shoulders appear to be the same, but they've remolded the arm from the bicep down. So it's change in fist, forearms. The sort of elbow guard is different. So, okay. The waist piece looks to be the same. They just painted it differently. The hips are different, actually, which is pretty interesting. They didn't have to do that, but they did. The thighs look to be the same. The lower legs and feet look to be the same, but the shins They actually remolded it to make it more show accurate. He does still have the same blaster pistol. It's the exact same one as Cup. He still has this energon dispenser. I don't know why they still kept this. If you ask me, would have been probably better if they did away with both of Cup weapons and just gave him one long blaster rifle. Now, before we move on, there's one last comparison which we need to do, and this is the Power of the Primes Orion Pax. I think before this figure came in, I think he's been the best version of Orion Pax we've had from the Generations line, because the Titans Return version, well, it was okay, but the head sculpt wasn't really doing it for me. The head sculpt looked more like a young Optimus Prime than an Orion Pax. This is really the Orion Pax head sculpt. The head sculpt is a brand new mold, I believe. I don't know, somebody let me know if they recycled this head sculpt, but it looks to be brand new, and it takes the likeness of how Orion Pax appeared in the cartoon. It's very, very show accurate. You put him under light. Yeah, there's a little bit of light piping right there. Let's talk about what I believe to be the best feature of this set, and it is their head sculpts and their fantastic show accurate color scheme. Let's start with the head sculpt. I mean, come on. These are the best versions, at least in the Generations line, for both these characters that we've ever had from Hasbro or Takara. That includes exclusives and all that. I love these head sculpts. These are so show accurate. And I'm actually holding out on Hasbro releasing an Alpha Trion for the RED line, but I don't think that's going to happen soon. So this one is as good as it gets, folks. This is the best Alpha Trion we've gotten in the Generations line for a long time. And again, as I mentioned earlier, this is my new favorite Orion Pax because he looks so true to how he looked like on the cartoon. And let's talk about the color scheme. I mean, Alpha Trion's color scheme, look at this. Look how close it is to how he looked like on the cartoon. I love this off-white, beige, these purples, magenta that they mixed with him. This is how the character looked like on the show. And Orion Pax, I mean, they even sort of made colors of his chest look like the cartoon. Now, if I am to fault these figures, a very minor complaint, and it is mold degradation. I'm not going to test plastic anymore because it's the same plastic they used for Scourge, Sweep, and Cup. So it's okay. It's your standard Generations plastic. It's pretty good. Mold degradation. Most of the joints of Alpha Trion are pretty good, except for the hips, which is, it's a little annoying because I love putting him in such dynamic poses, and it's not super loose, but it's a little bit more loose than what we got from Scourge or Sweep. So Scourge and Sweep are pretty tight. Some of the joints out here are also loose, but other than that, nothing to deter me from appreciating this figure. Same with Orion Pax. I actually thought that the removable joints were much tighter on this figure. I mean, if you've seen my review of the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Cup, man, the mold on that figure had just severely degraded. I had to get rid of that figure. It was so loose. But this one, they actually tightened those removable joints. Some looseness in the shoulders. On the hips, it's actually pretty okay. One loose piece, though, of two pieces are the shins. They don't tab as tight as the Cup figures shins, and that's probably because they remolded the shins, so it's, I don't know, they probably missed it by microns, but it's a little loose, but nothing to complain about too much. Transformation, let's do it very swiftly because I'm sure a lot of you have already seen how these molds transform. Let's begin with Alpha Trion. So combine the legs together, fold the heel spurs. Okay, oh, the heel spurs actually fold better than Scourge or Sweep. Combine the arms this way. All right, move the wings apart. Pop these pieces out. Stretch this. It's gonna cover his face. This. Collapse these pieces right here. Pull out. Pull out. Okay. And there we go. Alpha Trion in his space boat alt mode onto Orion Pax. Let me see if he still has that same flaw that Cup had with these swivels. Oh, this one's much easier. They actually fixed it. Pretty cool. Okay, so open this up, fold up, and open, collapse. This, and fold, and tab, bend, and tab. Okay. And here is Orion Pax in his alt mode. That's very similar to how Cup looked like. Let's bring in the original versions of the mold. We have Sweep or Scourge. They remolded this bit right here as well as this one and that one, the rear part. With Cup, they look very similar. Obviously the windshields have been altered because that's the chest, but overall on the other side, yeah, they look great. And you can connect the weapons if you wanted to with the original figures. Okay, so there. And so some final thoughts on this Legacy Alpha Trion and Orion Pax 2-pack. Need I say more? I was very surprised at how well these two figures came out. I think they're the best Alpha Trion and Orion Pax figures we've had for the Generations line. The fantastic head sculpt and show accurate paint scheme are really the best things about these sets. Sure, they're redecos, but you can't fault Hasbro for repurposing their molds. The Scourge mold and the Cup mold are really the best candidates for these two characters to be remolded into or redecoed into, so I'm okay with it. The entire set is going to get a 10 out of 10. Just don't pay more than $85 or $90 for them. $80 to $90 I think is a good price for this set. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this Transformers Legacy. A Hero is Born Alpha Trion and Orion Pax 2-pack set. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.